Welcome back. I hope you enjoyed our slide shenanigans. And we are almost ready to start the final of the live shading competition, live coding competition. What do you say? Like shader?
You know, honestly, I think we call it live coding, but live shading is accurate, right? They're writing shaders, so
Fair enough.
I'm not going to stop you on that one.
All right. And we're good to run the music. Captain DJ.
Yep.
Rocking the decks behind us.
Yep. So we've got blackle versus provod. Going to be awesome. Both very cool shaders.
Apparently we don't have them quite yet.
Yes, but we will when we start the round.
Yeah.
And we did earlier when they did it.
Sorry,
when they
not
did
blackle
awesome.
versus provod.
Was it not?
It's blackle versus. It's final. Blackle versus evil, right?
Okay, you're absolutely right. We just saw blackle versus provod. My bad, I misread the sheet. It is blackle versus evvvvil, isn't it? You're absolutely right. It's my bad.
That's elongated.
Honestly, I think it's evil, but I just like to say that because of how it's spelled. Broski, as he will call everyone else.
Let's get them to code stuff.
Yeah.
We'll just talk over after. Oh, wow, that's a nice little wipe.
Surprise! All right, so black on the left, evvvvil on the right. Yep.
All right, kids.
And they should be starting any second now. Yep, but there's cursors moving. Again, evil deleting everything. Blackle starting with a rotation function first. And we have acid music.
Oh yes, full on acid through 3.
Good.
Good. Good.
It's not a shader compo without some acid, especially if Luguber's DJing. Which this is not Luguber. Again, this is Phobium. But you know, memories.
Yeah.
I feel like Phobium is doing us a service by playing acid in this compo.
Yeah. And also by being the gentlest human in existence.
Yeah, there's that too. He's a lovely guy.
Good sport, as they say.
Yes.
So Evil is now. He started a new function.
Yep, called TRS, which is trace, maybe. I only guessed that because of this 128 iterations.
Right.
So it looks like MP is probably going to be the scene because I see PO plus RD times T.X, and I'm guessing that's position origin plus ray direction times.
I think you're pretty spot on.
You have to kind of mix a bit, but yeah, it's a marching loop. And on the left, we saw some setup functions for some weird rotation-y things. They didn't look to me like regular, like a regular 2x2 rotation matrix, for example. It looked a bit more complicated, but that also might just be me misreading it. I think we're also seeing a marching loop on the left now, behind this big camera in our room.
We can trade places if you want to see the code.
That's quite all right. I see enough, I think. But yeah, so we're not going to see much develop until, well, actually in previous rounds, I think we've seen blackle have a sphere fairly quickly, so we're probably going to see that soon. Assuming it's the same test object, which maybe it will be. Maybe. And then evil. Excuse me, evil. Sorry about that. Evil is also setting up a marching loop. There it is. There's blackle's test sphere. Again, with what looks like rim lighting or some kind of reflection ray visualization or something. I'm not entirely sure what that is actually. In fact, I think it must just be the normal, and it just must be how I'm seeing it, because I see she's writing this reflect function here, which is where it's calculating the ray has hit the object. Now we're going to figure out where to bounce. Yeah. So that's what that reflect function's doing. And I don't know what this diff thing is yet. But let's see. Oh, it's the diffused and specular lighting, of course.
Yeah, what does text mean?
Text, yeah. Means whatever you want it to mean, man.
Phobium is going really hard.
Is he?
Yeah.
Great.
You open the door briefly and you can hear.
I will do that actually.
And that's us.
And I created a lot of feedback by trying to listen to Phobium's track, which is epic.
Sorry.
Great stuff. And okay, yeah. So there is, yep. And definitely more, yeah, you can see definitely diffuse and specular. So you get the flat stuff and the shiny stuff. And now she's making a box, presumably?
Yeah, it's the same. Like the same, the edge as well.
Yeah, it does
Here.
look like some kind of rim lighting. I wonder if that's an added effect or if that's just how the specular is kind of wrapping around. That does tend to happen on the edge of spheres.
The edge of spheres. That sounds like something.
The edge of disgrace.
Yeah, no, it sounds like something that's not taken. Like
All right, yeah.
It sounds like something that should be named the edge of spheres.
Yeah. Spheres on a plane, perhaps.
God.
Is there an alive Greek that would? Never mind.
All
Anyway,
the funny things.
yeah. So Evil has a sphere, presumably more. Just looking at the background, I think there's more geometry than it looks like. I keep getting fooled by that. Figuring out normals. With E.XYY. I'm not sure what that is, but we're gonna find out. A lot of very short variable names. This is not the kind of code you write at your coder job, I hope. Yep, blackle has a box.
Good.
Again with rounded edges. So we've seen that a couple times. Which looks good, right? It's relatively easy to do with this kind of marching
I like
framework.
this already.
Yeah. Slight rotation. I think it's the same box, we're just seeing it rotate now.
Yep.
Over a few different axes, looks like she's adding. And adjusting the scaling of time, so we can make things move a little slower.
I like in coding, you're not actually adjusting time, you're adjusting how time works.
Yes, you're adjusting the speed at which it passes in this case.
I wonder how many coders get like a god complex.
No kidding. Also, I have no idea what you're talking about. We're all just amazing. So blackle has, is it just me or the lighting? It looks like, no, definitely not. The edges are still round.
I should also mention that we have like 8 studio lights lighting us at this point, so we're seeing the screen is a little bit different than what you were saying.
So now this box is being distorted by some, looks like some sinus waves, but I think it's not. It looks like, yeah, dot, sine, and cosine. So multiply sine and cosine. I don't know if I've ever seen dot used like that.
It scares me and impresses me when you say that.
In fact, I didn't realize you could take a sine of a 3-component vector and you probably get a 3-component vector. I think that's what's happening there. So that's weird, but okay. What a language, this GLSL. Saw a couple marching artifacts, but this is gonna look cool. I think, yeah, just distortions and different octaves of distortions too, which really gets you that landscapey kind of look. Yeah, it's just sine waves, but with adding those octaves and maybe rotating the point at which you sample there.
Yeah.
You can layer these in a way that looks surprisingly natural. So it almost looks like a cube of water.
Yeah.
Evil, excuse me. Evil added the specular, so now it's a shiny sphere.
Yep.
With either rotating light or rotating camera. Again, we have no way of knowing.
Yep.
It's philosophical at this point.
Interesting that it still maintains this, the structure by going to the top to add things that will be global or something like that. Is that the way you think about this? Like put the important stuff on top and...
Yeah, it's...
or not.
You normally wouldn't write your shader like this, but it works, right? Yeah, there's a lot of global variables that are going to be used later. And also a bunch of functions which are probably going to be used throughout the thing. Also, I'd like to remind everyone, this is the final live coding competition of the night. Both of these contestants have done amazing shaders. Each of them have coded for a total of 40 minutes today, hasn't it been? Which sounds really funny when you put it that way.
Yeah.
But it's absolutely amazing what they've been able to achieve in those 40 minutes, right? In those 2 rounds before, against also very competent contestants and very awesome shaders earlier. So really excited to see where this goes.
Yeah, and not to be pedantic, because why would I ever be? But this is actually the last shading competition of Solskogen. So
Solskogen,
basically
yes.
like 2 decades.
Yeah.
This marks the end. No pressure, no pressure. It does mark the end of the Solskogen live competitions. So.
Which is wild.
Kind of wild.
So you better vote also.
Yeah. And people have started doing that. I see this tendency, like in commenting on the last 3 rounds, people tend to wait a little bit.
Yeah. Which fine, right?
Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
You don't know what you're going to see yet.
Which is good, because then that indicates that the name voting, name recognition, brand voting is low.
Yeah, I would definitely say that's been the case. I mean, granted, I think blackle and evvvvil are pretty recognizable names in these competitions at this point, both. But yeah, you're absolutely right. There's some additional geometry in the background for evvvvil.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, maybe some kind of distorted plane.
Oh, that's a lot of of detail, which is actually, well, it's repeating, but it's not.
Yeah, so this is from the noise texture.
Right.
So it will repeat a bit, yeah,
yes.
You're right, actually.
And have some edge loop issues, or is that something else?
You know what, I'm not sure. it might
you made the texture, so.
I didn't make that one, actually.
Okay, fair enough.
In fact, technically, I didn't make any of them, but I prepared them. And maybe we'll see them.
Oh, no, it's something else.
Yeah, I think so too, but definitely a discontinuity there.
Yeah.
Blackle has added a sphere that's moving up and down.
Nice.
Blending with the water. I want to say water. I'm going to call it water until I'm corrected.
Or milk.
Yes, and this Malbogue, isn't it Malbogue? I don't know what that is. Strange word.
Mandelbulb? That's not a mandelbulb. It's not a mandelbulb.
Oh, hello, 2011 fractals.
Yeah.
evvvvil's moving through the scene. We are almost past the 14 minutes left mark.
Which is very known,
really
well-known
backwards
mark.
way to say it.
The famous almost 14 minutes left mark.
Yes.
You can tell we're tired, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so now blackle, she's adding a huge thing.
Yeah.
Wasn't supposed to be as huge, I guess.
Yeah, so some more geometry also looks to have mirrored this object about that Y plane. Typically Y is up in shaders. I don't know why that's the case, probably because geo. And evvvvil has really done a lot of distortion here, and you can see it kind of breaking up, but I don't know, it almost looks like foliagey.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool.
A lot of detail, so much in fact that it's getting aliased a lot.
Yep. And by aliasing we mean, I'm not going to say what we mean, but what we're looking at is flickering.
Yes. Yeah. Detail flickering.
Okay, so blackle now changing this kind of cube into like a wire cube kind of thing. Interesting.
With spheres as edges or endpoints.
Didn't quite see that coming, but it looks pretty cool. And you can see that this wavy kind of distortion is applied to the entire domain. So
yeah, so as the thing moves.
Yeah, it's like moving through the texture.
Kind of breaks the illusion a little bit for me.
Yeah.
Because then it kind of gives away what I'm looking at.
Definitely. We'll see how that's dealt with, or if it's dealt with.
No, I mean,
or if it's hidden, for example.
She could do whatever she wants. I'm still impressed.
Yeah, absolutely. So moving that object around as well.
With an interesting rotation, it's not really.
It's off axis.
Yes.
There's a translation
center
before.
Point. It feels like there's a dummy.
Definitely.
Or a null somewhere that, well, in my speak, I would call it. Something is linked and there's a null and you're repeating it. Yeah. All right, evvvvil is still flying through his foliage landscape.
Yeah, I think trying to make that more interesting.
Yeah, we're getting some sign distortions on this.
The modern plasma.
Whoa. Well, these are the options that I would give me some good old-fashioned 90s plasma.
Oh, you'll get those later, I'm sure.
I'm sure. Oh yeah.
We still have old school demo
we
coming
still have,
up.
Well, we still have intro competitions.
Yes.
And then we have old school demo and we have new school demo. Yes. And I know for a fact that there are some good stuff coming up.
Yes, it's going to be very exciting. Or already is very exciting. But it's also going to stay that way.
Yes.
Okay, so this was an interesting artifact. This is also what happens when your ray goes way too far.
Yeah.
And same thing going on here. So typical artifact. And then it's like, yeah, we're probably going to see that fixed.
It did look kind of cool in the first iteration of it.
Yeah, how it kind of like pushed the thing
sculpt
away in a weird
the
way. Yeah,
space.
strange. Blackle looks to have not liked that off-axis rotation. That probably was unintentional, so it moves things around. And
now it's bouncing, which is better than floating back and forth.
Now, as long as there's two of them and they don't touch, it's okay. Evil's sphere is being tickled by the foliage.
This channel is for mature audiences only.
I'll take a deep breath and shut up for a minute.
But it actually looks like it's kind of moving, like it's 1,000 small feet.
Yeah, very interesting kind of effect there. With all those small feet.
Small feet. I mean, it still works. I know it's technically not what I meant to say, but
yeah, I think actually what that is it looks like ambient occlusion again.
Yeah.
And how the occlusion is, it's a bit faked.
Yeah.
The way that this works, and I think the artifact makes it look like it's being.
Because it looked like a water balloon that rolls over some rocks.
Exactly. Blackle has twisted the domain now over time.
Back and forth.
Yep, and Evil added a cylinder. And he added more cylinders. So we're seeing Evil's scene get a bit more complex. Which is a bit late for him, I think.
Yeah.
With his typical strategy.
9 minutes left.
Yeah.
It's still also, like, I see work on different textures, not in the texture way of thinking it, but texture in textural.
Metric texture detail.
But I will say that hopefully this gets some color at some point.
Yes, and I'm sure it will. This is what happens when you rotate way too fast.
You got that
saw
glitch?
Briefly, yeah, we get that kind of glitching, which will happen even with this kind of rotation, but you won't see it very often. It'll be hard to spot the artifacts. Evil applied noise to the cylinders as well.
Made poop logs.
Your words, not mine.
Well,
that didn't help.
But I think you're onto something when you were talking about foliage. Like, it looks like he's aiming to create some sort of tree-like structures.
Yeah, could very well be at this point. Somehow I didn't put that together till you said it, but I think you're actually right. And Blackle might be playing with some textures, starting with some take x plus y plus z and do fract on it, and this is what you get. Or rather, yeah, exactly.
It has almost like a color cycling look to it.
Yeah.
When the thing goes up and down.
Oh, look at this. This looks oddly familiar, I must admit, right?
Yes. This is cool.
There was a certain 64K from Revision last year that did something very similar to this. For better or for worse.
Just needs glow.
Yes. Glow and reflections. And,
gold.
And I must say the technique was very different, but they look very similar. And maybe that's inspired, maybe it's not, but it looks very similar. Again, Evil, you might definitely be onto something. He definitely blended the bottom of these cylinders with like the ground, as it were.
Yes.
Definitely looks foresty, maybe. Maybe he's making a sun forest.
Oh God. Well, not with these colors.
Right. Yeah.
Just slap orange on, it'll be fine. But it does look like that. So there's some sculpting going on with the tree trunks.
Yeah.
If that's what they are.
Yeah. We're seeing some adjustments to the materials on Blackle's side. Looks like tweaking some kind of specular parameter here, or some Fresnel term, I believe is what we're seeing. And actually that Fresnel term is probably what we were seeing as the rim lighting earlier. I don't think I had noticed that, or if that was there before, but that would be my guess. Good to start out with a relatively nice material model early. I think still most shaders in this compo use a Phong-based model, which is quite old by now. But again, it can be very effective, so it's very easy to write.
Remember, I come from a time where we were sold end maps as Phong.
Oh, okay, yeah, right.
Phong shading, no, environment map.
So blackle is going to add a sky. And it's going to be non-uniform color because it took in the position as an argument. evvvvil added a color to the sphere, and maybe added some more lighting, it looks like. I'm not entirely sure about that.
I like it.
In fact, maybe that's what we saw. I'm not entirely sure. So it was just more lighting and it lit everything up, maybe. But hard to say. Now we're getting some movement. Looks like he copied the tree trunk things and applied them before, before the other movement.
Yeah, the placement of the camera, the placement of the tree trunks are set so he exactly hits one tree every rotation or whatever.
Definitely. I'm sure he's trying to ignore that for now.
Yeah.
And fix it once he knows more about what his geometry will actually be.
There's just 5 minutes left now, so.
Yeah, kind of close. blackle has added a background, purple one. Again, looking familiar, I must say. Yeah, just over 4.5 minutes left. Coming down more to the wire, it seems, than I would have expected.
Yeah, this is going to be close.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the voting. Yeah, people are voting. You should too. Go to evvvvvil.solskogen.no and submit your live vote. You can even do it on your phone. Garguy put in mobile-friendly voting, so you can just sit and tap. You have to do the login. 4 minutes left, and I like the addition that blackle put on this. Like, it gives the scene. Well, it all depends on what the colors end up being in the end, but it does give it more of a spatial feel.
Right, and evvvvil adding more geometry.
Because when in doubt.
Yeah. I mean, you got to make some change. I think this is as sensible as any other. So, looking good. Again, less space folding than I would have expected, right? That's a typical trick for him. And maybe he's trying to do something different, or maybe he just hasn't gotten there yet. Hard to say. But I would have expected that. And blackle had tweaked the material models a bit more. Now looks to be... oh, I actually see now in the variable names, dope, wax, thing. So it definitely is very familiar.
There you go.
And I see desats. This is going to be some desaturation kind of thing.
It's already losing its color.
Yeah.
Solskogen going hard again.
Yeah. Great. And also, yeah, surprisingly little sync with the music in this round too.
Yeah.
2 minutes and 40 seconds left. A little bit less now.
You got some breaks going on.
Nothing wrong with that. Nope. Still.
Oh.
And there we have the glowy tubes.
Yes.
So that's what evvvvil was adding up this whole time with those like horizontal bars. And the way the actual geometry or the solid geometry breaks them up makes it look like an artifact in my eyes, but that is not what's happening. It's actually quite stable. Kind of an interesting look. Blackle has made the white parts black. Almost looks like a Nan, but we'll see. Some kind of attenuation and some distance stuff. Maybe this is
Building new stuff now with just 1 minute 40 seconds left.
reflections, that's what's happening.
Oh, that's what's happening.
Yeah. I think will add a lot to that basic scene. And evvvvil adding more glowy objects. So I think, I'm not sure what evvvvil was originally going for. Somehow to me it feels like he didn't get to do what he wanted. and now he's just throwing in all the stops. And you know what? Nothing wrong with that.
No.
So just over a minute left. We're
Yep.
kind of close here.
Very close.
Again, two cool shaders. Again, pretty different approaches, even though they're both like Ray March. Quite different subjects. We have some noisy, glowy things on one side and some fluidy, shiny things on the other side.
Yeah, it's like getting one thing to a certain look versus building a world. Because like I feel, feels like this is something you want to travel through. This is something you want to watch for hours.
Yeah.
Both are good, but different.
Yeah, definitely. Clearly different goals with these two shaders.
Seconds
Now
left.
I have some. I think this. Yeah, this is just some fractional kind of sawtooth kind of motion. Blackle's probably going to try to match the music a little bit.
Oh, you have to hurry.
Yeah,
There's
let's
still
definitely hurry.
5 seconds left.
Evil adding more geometry with 3, 2, 1 seconds left, and that's it.
That is it for this round. That is some of the audience from Solskogen. Very good. Excellent.
Two very strong shaders. Again,
Wow.
Blackle with this dope on wax-like thing.
Yes.
And Evil with this shiny blocks in forests. Interpretation hands.
Yeah. Is that interpretations?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So with the voting closed, let's see who won. And
Remember, this is the final
this is the final
of the last live coding competition of the last Solskogen.
ever.
Yes.
So we don't have to say who it is. We'll just leave, right?
Yeah, no one really cares.
Right. Okay. So let's just do first place then first because
I think we can do left and then right.
left and then right. Okay.
no
so
bias,
our
right.
left.
Yes.
Our left is blackle
Yep.
with 32 points, and our right is evil with 48 points. So
Right.
the winner is evil. Congratulations.
A round of applause to both contestants.
Oh
They're
yes,
both very good
to
shaders.
everyone who participated.
And it wasn't just these shaders that were very good. The last two that they each wrote were very good. And the last, I'm bad at math, but the other ones that the other guys wrote.
And then the other ones.
Yes, the other ones that the other people wrote, obviously amazing. So
Yeah.
yeah, very good compo.
Very good. Excellent. Fantastic.